Hi, my name is Michael Weintraub. This is my Chem 108 final video, and my element is zinc. Zinc has 30 protons, 30 electrons, and an average of 34 neutrons, but there is some variance. Zinc is a fairly common element. It is primarily found on the Earth's crust, and is the 24th most abundant element on the Earth's crust. Of all elements, there is found on average across the world 75 parts per million. And zinc is primarily obtained as the byproduct of mining operations of other metals like copper and lead and silver. And it's primarily seen in nature as, with other types of metals. For example, saprolite, which is zinc sulfide. Smithsonite, which is zinc carbonate. Zinc silicate and franklinite. It's commonly found with other types of metals or elements. Zinc is found widely across the world, but the regions and countries with the highest zinc deposits are China, Australia, Western South America, and the US and Canada. There are five naturally occurring isotopes of zinc, that is zinc 64, zinc 65, 66, 67, 68. The two most important being zinc 64 and 66. Zinc 64 makes up about 49% of all zinc found on the Earth. And zinc 66, along with zinc 64, are very important for scientific research. They're used in something called PET scans, which are very important for medicine and how doctors diagnose different things regarding cells. And zinc is also used, or these two isotopes primarily are injected by scientists to see how zinc moves through the body's metabolism, and it's used to observe how zinc moves throughout the body. And zinc is isolated using the processes of smelting and distillation. So like I said before, zinc is pretty much always found with some other type of element, whether that being sulfur, which we'll be talking about in this case. So you'll first take smelting. So you'll take saprolite, which is zinc and sulfur. You'll smelt it, which adds two oxygen atoms, and that will create a reaction will leave you with zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. And so you have zinc oxide, and then you'll distill it, which is when you add carbon for reaction. And so you'll have zinc oxide and carbon, and that reaction will leave you with zinc and carbon monoxide, and that will leave you with pure zinc. Some common uses of zinc mostly involve coating it over some other type of material to improve its strength and durability. Like, for example, galvanization of steel. Galvanization, it's with many steel and iron. Construction companies will add a coat of zinc, and that will improve the metal's durability and strength. It'll prevent it from rusting and corroding over time, which just generally makes it much more stronger and better to use as a product when you're selling. It is also used for lots of rubber and ceramic and paints and glass goods for the very same types of reason. If you add zinc to any of these goods, it'll make them stronger, more durable, and particularly in the case of rubber, it'll make the rubber much more elastic without losing any of its strength. And it's also used a lot in the agricultural industry. Zinc is often added to fertilizers to improve crop yields, to improve growth, to prevent crop diseases from running through crops, and is also added for much the same reason to animal feed to prevent zinc deficiencies in livestock. We'll get to more of that later. Zinc has many different interesting properties, including its low melting point. For a metal, it has a very low melting point. This is because it has a very weak metallic bond amongst its atoms, and this allows it to break the atoms to break apart into a liquid form at much lower temperatures than a lot of metals. And this particularly makes it easy to work with for making and coating different materials out of it and such. Zinc is also not magnetic. Although it is a metal, it is not magnetic. That's because all of its electrons are paired up with each other, so there are no electrons that are not. So that means none of its electrons are free to be attracted to a magnetic field. Another very distinctive thing about zinc is that it has a very distinct color. It's kind of a bluish white hue, and when it's polished, it becomes incredibly shiny. This is just something that zinc is very well known for. It's made when it's not being used for coating, it can be used for, more kind of like aesthetic, decorative purposes, and that's because it shines very nicely and has a very distinctive color that lasts for a very long time, and that is because of the oxide layer that zinc creates. And about protective oxide layers, when zinc is exposed to air, it reacts with the oxygen to form a layer of zinc over a material's surface. And it's a very stable, and it stays on very well, which is why, like we've talked about earlier, zinc is very useful preventing corrosions and rust and just like overall deterioration. And so that's why it's very common, like I mentioned earlier, with galvanization and many other things, that zinc is very commonly used as something you put as a coating agent, you could say, and that protective oxide layer is why. So some common uses of zinc in society are dietary supplements. Lots of people take zinc supplements because zinc is very important to our body's function. It plays a role in our immune system, healing of scars and wounds, supporting DNA synthesis and cell division. And a deficiency of zinc is very bad. It will cause your hair to fall out. It'll make your vision. It's bad for your eyes. It has many negative health consequences if you don't get enough zinc in your system. And getting enough zinc is particularly important for vegetarians, pregnant women, and people with various types of medical conditions. And like I just talked about, steel. Zinc is very often added to steel to make this steel much more durable, and so it can last longer. And it's often added to place things outdoors like fences and roofs, and very notably, I found electrical transmission towers. It's also used in the bodies of cars, and it's pretty much anything that's outside that will be exposed to the elements, or like weather. And adding zinc will increase the lifespan and durability of these materials. It also reduces the cost of maintenance, so you're not replacing, the steel part of the body of a car every. You'll have to replace it less often. And the other very common thing is in alkaline batteries. Zinc is a very important part of alkaline batteries, which is the most common type of battery you'll see in our society. Alkaline batteries last longer and are much more consistent and efficient than pretty much any other type of battery we have that's widely available. And zinc in alkaline batteries serves as the negative electrode in the batteries, and that reacts with the positive electrode, and that produces the electrical current that is stored in these batteries. And their alkaline batteries are widely used throughout our societies in remote controls, flashlights, toys. And they are incredibly long-lasting. They're very reliable. And the other great thing about alkaline batteries is that they can be recycled. And so the zinc oxide from these used batteries can be recovered and reused in the production of new alkaline batteries. In that society, in my everyday life, I am currently standing in a building that uses steel and other metals as part of its foundation. And if my dorm is up to code, in the state of Illinois, all buildings have to have to coat their rebar with the zinc to make it much more durable and last longer. I have also eaten. So zinc is commonly found in meats like chicken and turkey, and I had some chicken today. And that zinc will allow my hair to stay in, for my nails, my fingernails and toenails to stay healthy. And so I'll be seeing lots of health benefits from that. And I'm also studying for my calculus exam, and I've been using a calculator for that. That calculator I checked uses 4 AAA alkaline batteries, and the zinc in those alkaline batteries allow my calculator batteries to not be replaced for, I think, going 3 years now. So I haven't replaced my batteries in 3 years, and the durability of zinc is why I've not had to replace my calculator batteries. That was my final video project for Chem 108. Have a good day, and thank you.